The Sri Lanka Navy is the naval arm of the Sri Lanka Armed Forces and is classed as the country's most vital defence force due to its island geography and is responsible for the maritime defence of the Sri Lanka nation and its interests. The role of the Sri Lanka Navy is to conduct operations at sea for the defence of the nation and its interests and conduct prompt and sustainable combat operations at sea in accordance with the national policies. Sri Lanka, situated in the middle of major sea lanes passing through the Indian Ocean, was always a magnet for seafarers and has a long history of naval campaigns. The current Sri Lanka Navy was established on 9 December 1950 when the Navy Act was passed for the formation of the Royal Ceylon Navy. The roots of the modern Sri Lanka Navy date back to 1937 when the Ceylon Naval Volunteer Force was established, which was renamed and absorbed into the Royal Navy as the Ceylon Royal Naval Volunteer Reserve. During World War II, the current name Sri Lanka Navy was constituted in 1972 when Sri Lanka became a republic and the introduction of new constitution. In recent years it has played a key role in the Sri Lanka Civil War, conducting surveillance and patrol, amphibious and supply operations. During the war, the Navy moved from a small force focused on coastal patrols to a large combat force concentrating on asymmetric naval warfare capable of amphibious and land operations in support of counter-insurgency operation that progressed into engagements of a new form of littoral zone warfare. It carried out expeditionary deployments in the Indian Ocean in order to intercept rogue arms shipments on the high seas. The Navy has its own elite Special Forces unit, the Special Boat Squadron. The professional head of the Navy is the Commander of the Navy, currently Vice Admiral Nishanta Alujaten. The Commander-in-Chief of the Sri Lanka Armed Forces is the President of Sri Lanka, who heads the National Security Council through the Ministry of Defence, which is the highest level of military command and procurement for the armed forces. Operations of the Sri Lanka Navy are coordinated with the other armed forces by the Joint Operations Command. The Sri Lanka Navy has 4 advanced offshore patrol vessels, 4 offshore patrol vessels, 2 missile boats, 12 patrol boats, more than 200 fast attack craft, 6 landing ships, craft and many littoral craft, along with 6 auxiliary vessels. Its personnel number 48,000, of whom approximately 15,000 are deployed for shore duties. In January 1938, the Ceylon Naval Volunteer Force. It continued under Royal Navy Operational and Administrative Command until March 1946. With the end of the war, it reverted to Ceylon government control, though yet CRNVR in name. In the 1939 to 1946 period, the CRNVR carried out several operational duties, mainly at sea, cutting its teeth on the port commission tugs Samson and Goliath. It later manned and operated trawlers and Antarctic whalers converted as minesweepers and fitted out with guns, submarine detection equipment and anti-submarine weaponry. They were HMS Overdale Wyke and miscellaneous auxiliary vessels. All were manned exclusively by CRNVR personnel. These ships were meant to sweep and guard the approaches the harbors but were often used on extended missions outside Ceylon waters. In the course of these operations, the ships came under enemy fire, recovered essential information from Imperial Japanese aircraft that were shot down, sailed to Akyab after the Burma front was opened in 2 FMVs for harbor duties, and were called upon to accept the surrender of the Italian sloop Eritrea and escort her to the Colombo port with a prize crew on board. After independence from British rule in 1948, the government believed an island country should possess a strong navy to be its first line of defense. Therefore, on 9 December 1950, the Royal Ceylon Navy was created with Ceylon Royal Naval Volunteer Reserve forming the nucleus. The first warship was commissioned HMCYS Vijaya, an Algerine-class minesweeper, ex-HMS Flying Fish, along with other patrol boats and tugs. Later the fleet was expanded with HMCYS Parakram, another Algerine-class minesweeper and ocean-going tug. During this time the Navy took part in several joint naval exercises and a goodwill mission to the Far East. However, the expansion of the Navy was dramatically halted when the captain of the Navy, who was relieved of command at the time, was implicated in the 1962 Ceylonese coup d'état attempt. The Navy suffered a great deal as a result of the government's retribution that followed, with several of its ships sold off, reduced its size by stoppage of recruitment of officers, cadets and sailors for over 7 years, the loss of important bases and barracks and the stoppage of training in England. 2 batches of 300 ratings were recruited in 1966 and 1969. As a result, in 1971 the Navy was poorly equipped and short of personnel when the 1971 JVP insurrect